He was against it before he was for it. But now the president's big flip-flop on immigration could cost him. 20 states are now filing lawsuits in response to President Obama's executive order blocking deportations for up to 5 million illegals. One of those states, as you can see right there, way up at the top, is Wisconsin. And the governor, Scott Walker, joins us now live from Wisconsin. Good morning to you, sir.
Good to be with you, Steve. Thanks for having me back on.
It's great to have you. Okay, so regarding immigration reform, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. You say this is the wrong way.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. Barack Obama is the president of the United States. He's not the emperor of the United States. He has no legal authority to do this. He can't go beyond the bounds of the law as it stands in the United States today. Those are all things he said. Those aren't talking points for me or the other governors and attorney generals involved in this lawsuit. Those are things that Barack Obama himself has said over the last several years, repeatedly said that he did not have the legal authority. And what did he do? About 2 weeks after just being soundly defeated on his policies at the ballot box, instead of finding ways to work with the new Republican majorities in the Senate and the growing majorities in the House on any number of issues, he picks an issue where he clearly does not have the legal authority and goes forward on this. This is someone who's gone from the audacity of hope to the audacity of the power grab.
You know, we all remember both times the President of the United States put his hand on the Bible and swore to uphold the Constitution of the United States and to, make sure that the laws are enforced. But in this case, what he's doing is kind of a clever thing where I'm not going to completely enforce the laws. I'm going to be very selective. I don't like that part. I'm not going to do it.
Exactly. And this is one of those where I got a kick out of all places, Saturday Night Live doing a spoof on the old I'm just a bill thing that we all remember as kids growing up. And instead of following the rules that a bill, an idea goes to the Congress, to the House and the Senate, and then ultimately the president can either sign it or veto it before it becomes a law or doesn't become a law. In this case, he's just totally disregarded the Congress, a Congress that he said, this is the most amazing part, that he said for years in front of groups who advocated this very action, he couldn't do it because he was not above the law. Well, apparently, if you get soundly defeated on your policies in an election and you become frustrated, that gives you some sort of a clause in the Constitution to just disregard it. Obviously, that's not the case, and I and other governors want to make sure that the courts, another separate branch of government, stands up and holds the president to this very standard, the standard that any person, man or woman, should be held to in this country.
Absolutely. So in this case, the courts will essentially be the referee in this to figure out whether or not what he's doing is legal. What if the courts say no? You know what, Mr. President, you got to stop it. That's ultimately what you're after, right?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think this is one of those, and I think there's a real belief here that this can happen. It's why other governors and attorney generals have signed on to this, because, as a governor, I have broad executive authority, but I understand in my case, some 3.5 years ago, I couldn't have just come in and said, I'm going to change collective bargaining through an executive action in the state of Wisconsin. No, I had to go to the state legislature and make those changes. Obviously, back then, that drew a lot of attention, but we did it the right way. If you want to make big, bold changes, you need to work, in this case, with the legislative branch, which is the Congress, to make those changes. And it's why it's bigger than just immigration. It's on any action out there. If you take and overstep your authority, you take authority away from your own branch of government, because there's a careful balance the founders of this country put in place, and we need to defend that.
Absolutely. All right. Governor Scott Walker from the great state of Wisconsin, who reminded me during the commercial break as we were just starting, tonight the Packers are on Monday Night Football. Make sure you watch it.
Go Pack.
All right.